fellas, I'm going to analyze this scene of Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders to show you step by step the granular psychology-based tactics to become a respected high-status man who is admired by other men and who is irresistible to women. And you can create this effect by using specific psychology-based tactics, which I'm going to show you, and certain body language cues, right? What we call high-status body language. When you use this stuff, fellas, that's when you're going to make other men admire and respect you, and women will feel like they cannot not have you. Let's get into the video. Fellas, the first thing I want to point out is what I call the high status walk. Now, any of you guys who have watched my videos before, you know exactly what I'm going to say, but the high status walk, right, what Tommy is doing here, is one of the most important body language cues you can get right because it is your first impression. Now, why is getting a first impression right so important? I'm going to tell you that, then I'll tell you how to do this. Right, and we've got so many more advanced tactics in this video, right? How to respond to shit test, how to deal with shit test, how to counter all of this, how to remain cool, calm, collected when she's testing you. So much stuff, right? It's going to be a good video. Okay. Now, why are first impressions so important, fellas? Well, your first impression, when you meet a girl or you meet a man, when you meet anyone, right? They don't know anything about you. So they have to form an impression of you somehow, right? This is what a first impression is, right? What it says on the tin, right? Their first impression of you. Now, why is getting this right so important? Because your first impression, fellas, it dictates how they treat you. So if you have a really weak first impression, when they interact with you, right? When they see you walking up to them, whatever, the first few seconds they interact with you, they're going to treat you like a weak person, right? They're going to treat you like you're a low status, low ranking man. Whereas if you have a strong, masculine, high status first impression, how are people going to treat you? Like you're a strong, high status man, right? And first impressions are so important because they dictate how people treat you. Also, first impressions, right? They're crucial when you meet new women because they will use this first impression to decide whether they want to A, cease to interact with you, or B, continue to interact with you. So if you get the first impression wrong, you're instantly disqualified. You just lost out on a girl you could have had if you had a better first impression. The walk is one of the most important ways you get this right. Let me rewind this and I'll point this out. I'll show you how to get it right. So fellas, the first thing I want you to pay attention to is how his arms move, right? This is what we call free-flowing arm movement. Now, why is free-flowing arm movement important, right? When your arms swing back and forth, right? Because when you're tense, right? When you're nervous, when you're insecure, when you're scared, what do humans tend to do? We tend to physically tense up, right? We try and make ourselves appear smaller, to take up less space, so we're less likely to get noticed by a predator, right? That's evolutionary how we're wired, right? We tense up, we get rigid. Whereas when you're cool, calm, collected, when you feel like you're the big alpha monkey, the big dominant guy, the king gorilla, when you feel like that, what are you going to do? You're naturally going to take up more space. You're going to swing your arms back and forth more wide. You're going to be relaxed. You're going to be cool. You're going to be free. You're going to be chilled out, right? And when you do that, this is what you do. This is how you behave. Your arms flow back and forth freely. Same thing with his shoulders, which we'll see in just a minute. When you're cool, calm, collected, when you feel like that high status, high ranking man, right? Your shoulders, when you walk, they're going to free flow forward and backwards, right? You're going to have shoulder movement. Whereas on the other hand, when you're nervous, when you feel like a little bitch, right? When people don't respect you, your shoulders are going to be tense, right? You're going to walk around like this. No shoulder movement. Whereas when you're cool, calm, collected, big alpha monkey, big king gorilla, slow, smoothing shoulder movement back and forth as you walk. And then fellas, again, just one final point. When he walks, like everything is so smooth, everything is so slow, everything is so controlled, everything is so relaxed, right? Slow, smooth, controlled movement, right? Everything. Let me just show you that again, if I can go back. So just I want you to walk when he gets down. I want you to watch when he gets down the stairs and he starts walking before the camera pans away. Just look how slow and smooth that is. Now, why is slow, smooth, controlled movement so important? Because slow, smooth, controlled movement is associated with high status, high ranking males. And if you don't know the evolutionary psychology, high status, high rank is I'm not going to say that, but is the number one most important thing when it comes to attraction. A rule, fellas, for dating, attraction, relationships, a woman will not date a man she perceives as lower status than him. She will not date a man that she perceives as lower ranking than her. Right? So, when you do these body language cues, and I've got so much more in this video that's going to make you be perceived as a high status, high ranking man, right? When you do these body language cues in her subconscious, right? Unless you this is not a conscious process. This is all subconscious. Unless she's also watching Forsop's videos, which she's fucking not. This is all a subconscious process. So when you behave in this way, she perceives you as a high status, high ranking man. She's going to treat you in a completely different way.
I heard you were in town and I thought, well, hey. Little man hitting the big time.
So fellas, that is a classic test, right? Little man hitting the big time, right? Let's look at this. How do you deal with this? Because when you meet women, or not even, especially when you first meet women, especially if you're using the high stats body language, right? She wants to, the purpose of her test, fellas, let me change colors, it's a bit more clear. The purpose of her tests is to simply see, is this guy really the guy he's portraying to be? So what you can do all the high stats body language, you can do all of this bullshit, right? But if you fail her tests, she's going to think, oh, no, another phony, another fake. So you need to know how to pass tests, right? This is a test. Little man hitting the big city. How would most men respond, right? How would all the men who are sexist and get none? How would they respond? I'm not a little man. I'm actually this successful. I've actually done all these amazing things. They would defend themselves. They probably wouldn't react like that, but they would go to defend themselves. They'd be like, oh, why do you think that about me? I'm not a little, I'm not, what are you talking about? They defend themselves. Whereas on the other side, how would a high status man react? He doesn't give a fuck what she thinks. Little man, oh, go home. Go home. I could give a fuck what you think. You just don't give a fuck. When that's why I emphasize, fellas, watch my videos, study the videos, do the work, and you will give zero fucks about what they think about you. Because when you use my tactics, newsflash, you will have an abundance of options. Anyway, what was I saying about passing tests, right? You need to not give a fuck. So in this shit test, if someone said this to me, I'd be like, yeah, I am a little man. I'm under 5 foot. Did you know that? Right? Obviously, I'm not. I'm substantially taller than that. And she can see that. Well, Forsop's is 6'3", 6'4", and then I go, yeah, I am a little man. I'm under 5 foot. I'm 5'1". I know I am little. Right? Test passed. Right? I don't give a fuck what you think. It's those cocky, arrogant, I don't give a fuck responses is how you pass a test. How you fail a test, fellas, is by getting defensive and trying to explain yourself, trying to impress her. Be like, I can't believe you think that about me. A high-ranking man doesn't give a fuck what she thinks about him. I could give a fuck what you think. I've got big goals I'm pursuing. I've got literal. When I step out the house, I have to beat women off with a fucking stick because they fucking keep chasing me. That's the mindset you want to have. Now, that may not be true. You may not have to beat women off with a stick because they keep fucking chasing you. I do, and I'm a high status man, so let me tell you how we behave, right? And the reason I'm telling you this, fellas, because if you have this mindset, right, you will start to behave in the way that a high status man, a high ranking man with an abundance of options behaves. And when you behave in that way, fellas, what's going to happen is women pick up on this because, fellas, this state of abundance, right, high status, high ranking, having so many options is attractive to women, right? It increases their interest. Okay, so if you behave in the way of that a high-ranking man does, you're simply going to increase her attraction to you. Right? That's why I give you my mindset. That's why I tell you what I think. So you can think the same things as me. Then she will perceive you as, yeah, this guy's high ranking, this guy's high status. He clearly has loads of other options. Therefore, I should be interested in him.
You like jazz?
No.
This was another test, right? Do you like jazz? No. Then what does she do? She looks at him, turns the volume up, and what is she doing? Fellas, she's trying to annoy him. But let's just watch that again.
It's fine. You like jazz?
No.
Look, she's looking at him because she wants to see the reaction she's going to get. She didn't even look where she was walking. She's literally faced 180 degrees the other way. Why is she looking at him? Because she wants to see the reaction. That's what she's trying to get. She's trying to see, can I move this man off center? Can I get him to react emotionally? Now you're probably thinking, Force, why the fuck do they do these little annoying bullshit tests? They're trying to filter out men. The rationale behind these tests, fellas, is we have to go a step back. We have to go a step further to like, what is the actual what is the actual psychology of female attraction? Right? What causes them to be attracted? Well, fellas, women are attracted to high-ranking, high status, right? Men, right? High-ranking, high-status men, they are men who have been through things. They're men who have developed themselves, right? Therefore, they are not going to get emotionally disturbed if she does something annoying. They just don't care. Zero emotional disturbance, right? Unaffected by external circumstances. Unreactive, non-emotional, right? You can't move him off center. If we look at the other side of this, fellas, if she did this and a man got all emotional, what does that say about him as a man? That he's easy to move off center. He's easy to startle. Now, fellas, I made a video about this. It's called Masculine Safety. If you want to get an in-depth understanding of this, watch this fucking video. It's very, 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 very fucking good, right? Women want to feel safe around their man. That is one. I can't emphasize this enough. They want a man that makes them feel calm, that makes them feel safe, that makes them feel like protected. I cannot emphasize how important this is. It is a new level of importance, right? They want a man that makes them feel safe. Okay? Pay attention to this. So when you are unreactive, when she can't annoy you, when you have solid emotional control, she's testing to see, can this man deal with all the awful shit that's going to come at us? Right? Will he be calm? Will he be cool? Will he be calm? Will he be reactive? Unreactive? Right? Will he be cool, calm, collected? Will he be those things? Right? When you pass this test, she's like, yeah, he can deal with me. Because, fellas, what you have to understand is attractive women are inherently highly feminine. Like, I'll give you an example, right? I was on a plane. I had just come back from a vacation with a girl I was dating, right? And she lost one of her AirPods on the plane. She went into had a literal panic attack. A literal panic attack that she lost one of her AirPods. She's like, Force, do something about it. I was like, I'm not going to say her name, but calm down, we will find the AirPod. And if we don't find the AirPod, we will just get you a new one. Right, you're going to be okay, we will find it. Right? And she was like, I'm gonna melt under the... You're going to be fine, you're with me. Right? And then she cuddled me, she felt better. She's like, oh, Force, you make me feel... You get the point, fellas. This is what women are looking for. They're going to throw all this emotional bullshit at you. I can't find my AirPod. I'm going to have a panic attack. Oh, they need to stop the plane. Oh, they need to get everyone off the plane so I can find it. You're going to be okay. We're going to find the AirPod, and if we can't, we'll get you a new one. You don't need to panic. I'll find it for you. But Force, I need the AirPod. I can't go on a plane without my AirPod. Oh my God, we're going to have to fly 15 hours to California from London. Oh my God, I can't do it without an AirPod. If we don't find the AirPod, we'll get you a new one when we're in London. Cool, calm, collected. Whereas An average man be like, where's the fucking airport? Shut the fuck up, bitch, stop. Do you get the point? She'd be like, he'd be like, shut up. Stop having a go. Because she was getting on my nerves, right? She was panicking over a fucking AirPod. And she was creating a scene. But again, I was cool, calm, collected. But the average man would start, what's the word? Like getting emotional and be like, shut up, stop having a go at me. I don't know where the fucking airport. You get the point, right? I'm going on a bit of a side tangent, but welcome to Forceop's YouTube channel, where we go on side tangents after watching 3 seconds of a clip. Okay, I think we're going to continue now. Again, fellas. So obviously she's tested him. I told you, fellas, if you just go back a second. Look, she's looking at him. Right, she's turning up, seeing if she can get on his nerves. And we look at Tommy's reaction. Nothing. Zero. This is a perfect response. Fellas, bottom line is responding like I said, different tests require different responses. The one where we said about, okay, he's coming down the stairs and she was like, little man hitting the big city. Why do I have an American accent? You can tell I spent way too much time around fucking Americans. American girls specifically. Anyway, back to the video. You can't sit in silence to that, because then it looks like you're butthurt and upset. And by the way, fellas, being butthurt, being emotionally reacted is one of the biggest turnoffs you can possibly have. When I was younger, I made that mistake all of the time. Like I looked annoyed. Like, you can't look annoyed. Massive turn off, right? You have to work on them. In that response, where she's like, little man hitting the big city, when she's making a direct insult at you, that's when you respond in the way I said, yeah, I'm under 5 foot. I know it's a tough life, isn't it? It's a tough life being under 5 foot. You say something like that, right? Obviously you're joking, slight smirk on the face, whatever, right? Confident tonality, no hesitation, right? You have to have these witty responses. But the second test, where she's just trying to get a reaction out of you, she's literally trying to get a fucking reaction out of you, right? You could see she was looking at him. In that case, fellas, that's when you just want to have no reaction. Zero. Nothing. And the way Tommy does that is very basic. How does he show it? He's unreactive and cool, calm, collected. He doesn't react, right? Strong eye contact, no change in the facial expression, no movement, no pacing back and forth, no eyebrow raise, right? No squint, nothing. And then you can see she's like, again, test passed. Test passed. I guess we have to go. I guess we have to move on now. She's not just going to keep turning it up forever, is she? Right? She's just going to stand there forever, right? Eventually, she's going to cave in. Test pass. Boom, fellas. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but this is not a conscious process, right? She's not consciously thinking, when Force walks in the room, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try and provoke him, right? It's not how it works, fellas. It's subconscious. She's testing your strength. Typically, fellas, and again, this is an advanced tactic that no one on the internet knows, because no one's done as much work as I have in this space. I think you know that by now, but I'll just remind you, or for anyone new, there are typically 2 places where you're going to get tested the most. There's typically, obviously you'll be tested in other scenarios, but there's typically two places where you're going to get tested. The first place you're going to get tested, fellas, is when you first meet her, right? This is because she doesn't know who you are. She's got to test your confidence. The second place you're going to get tested, which is far more common, this is where the vast majority of tests you'll get from her, is when you ever display weakness, too high interest, right? Too much interest, uncertainty, being too clingy, being needy, being insecure, basically any form of weakness. After you display the weakness, fellas, what you will see is you will see more tests. And I'm going to show, and Gina's about to test Tommy in one more way. And fellas, it's really important that I point out these, what people call shit tests, because if you don't know what they are, you can't pass them, because you won't know you're being tested. So I'm going to, throughout this video, Gina tests Tommy so much in this clip, right? Obviously the first one, right? That's the first test. That's like an insecurity test, right? Little man hitting the big city, right? Because Tommy's obviously quite short. He's like 5'8", right? Insecurity test. The second test was, okay, can I get him to move off center, right? This is like an emotional shit test. That's all she's trying to look for is, can I get an emotional reaction out of this guy? Let me show you the third test.
What do you want, whiskey?
Water.
I don't have any water. What else do you want?
That is a compliance test. I need to play the clip for you to see the rest of it. But that's the third sort of test you're going to get, which is a compliance test. Let me show you.
Message for your Uncle Jack.
Tommy, relax. Have a fucking drink. You know, my uncle's planning on buying the United States import license to all the best scotch. And
So Tommy said he doesn't want a drink, right? He doesn't want whiskey. Because obviously, if you've watched Peaky Blinders, in season 6, Tommy no longer drinks, right? This is a fucking compliance test. Let me show you.
Irish whiskey distilleries. He's on his way to London right now to make those deals. Every drop.
He puts the drink down and he doesn't drink it. Test passed. He said, I don't want whiskey. I don't drink anymore. Again, she didn't listen to him. She went and got him fucking whiskey. She was like, Tommy, relax, have a fucking drink. Let me just play the fucking clip and you can watch it.
What do you want, whiskey?
Water.
I don't have any water. What else do you want?
I have a message for your Uncle Jack.
Tommy, relax.
And again, fellas, she said, I don't have any water. What else do you want, right? He's not changing. I said I want water. If you don't have water, I don't want anything. I'm good, right? A compliance test. A compliance test, fellas, is basically like she's trying to test if you will comply with her, if you will change your mind to appease her. I used to fail these all of the time, right? Because she'd be like, she'd say, "Oh, I really like when for example, I really like when a man does X thing, like open my car door." Or here's one I got the other day. Fellas, this is fresh off the press. This is a compliant, because I even get tested sometimes, right? You'll get them randomly. So this is a compliant test I got the other day. I was in central London with a girl I'm dating, and she was like, "Boss, can you hold my bags?" I said, "No, I'm not holding your shopping bags." You think I'm some fucking beta male holding your shop? No. And she was like, "Well, I like when men hold my bags." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I don't. It's not something I do." She's like, "Eh." Then she got annoyed for a few minutes. I still didn't take the fucking bags. Still made her hold them. And then guess what? Interest increased. Let's move on anyway.
X. Have a fucking drink.
And again, there you go. Again, have a fucking drink. I think she's 3 times, right? And you can't cave. Because if you cave, test failed, right? She's in her mind, her frame is stronger than yours, right? Her will is stronger than yours. Fellas, all she's doing is testing your authority, testing your frame, how easily you can be manipulated, right? Or how easily you can change your mind. Fellas, women want they're just testing, right? They want a man who is firm in his decision, who does not change. Once his mind is made, that's the decision we're making. And she will test your decision. You have to stand by it.
You know, my uncle's planning on buying the United States import license to all the best Scotch and Irish whiskey distilleries. He's on his way to London right now to make those deals. Every drop in every state will be another dime for Uncle Jack.
Yep.
Fellas, what I want you to pay attention to now is the difference in attention between the two, right? I will rewind the clip and point out some other things, but at a higher level, fellas, high-ranking men tend to give less attention than they receive. Why? Because the attention of a high-status man is hard to earn. Why? Because he's on a mission, he's got big goals, he's got loads of other options, so he can't give you his attention, right? His mind is usually on other things, right? fellas, high-ranking men naturally do this, right? But subconsciously, because they are very busy, they do have other things on their mind, right? So they limit the attention they give other people through eye contact. If we go back, I'll show you. Forgive me, this is terrible, this navigation. So look.
You know, my uncle's planning on buying the United States
So
import
notice the timestamp, right? 43, 44, 36, right? He hasn't given her any attention. We play.
license to all the best Scotch and Irish
Still no
whiskey
attention.
distilleries. He's on his way to London right now to make those deals. Every drop in every state will be another dime for Uncle Jack.
So I think I can't tell for sure, but he may have given her a little bit of attention here. That's fine, right? The point still stands. High-ranking men, they tend to give less attention than they receive. Whereas if you see Gina, on the other hand, fellas, she's been staring at him the entire time. Whereas Tommy, he has been giving her less attention. This is going to signal to her, my attention is hard to earn, therefore I'm a high-ranking man. You must work for it. Fellas, on a separate note, this is also how you make her, or one method you can use to make her chase your validation, chase your approval. When you limit your attention, it's going to cause her, fellas, to chase even harder to get it, because attractive women, their entire life, all they've been done, all that's happened to them is they've been given so much attention from men. So when you don't give it, it causes her to chase it, right? Because she's like, what? Why doesn't this man find me attractive? What? And she has to chase you. She has to get your attention. She has to get your approval. She has to get your validation.
Yeah. He's a very powerful, very impressive man.
And then as you can see, fellas, he's completely turned his body away now, right? He's completely removed his attention. If I take you back again, let's see.
Right now to make those deals.
I also want to point out something I call body angles, right? Body angles, fellas, are another way that you give attention to the person you're communicating with. If you can see Tommy, right, he's pointing slightly away, whereas Gina is pointing towards him, right? This is another really good tactic you can use to reduce your attention, to limit your attention, right? If you rearrange your body, fellas, so it's not pointing at her, this is another way you limit your attention. This is another way you make it seem like your attention, your validation, your approval is hard to earn. So when you're conversing with a woman, right, pay attention to where your body is pointing. If it's pointing towards her, angle it away from her slightly, right? Make sure she's pointing towards you more than you're pointing towards her. The reason I'm emphasizing this point so much, fellas, is because something that will kill a woman's interest is giving her too much attention. Right? Why? For a few reasons. First, when you give her lots of attention, fellas, it makes you seem needy, right? And it comes across as you're way too eager, like you're way too excited about her. You're like, it sort of makes her think like, this guy is not used to me. He can't take his eyes off me, right? He's clearly not used to someone like me. And fellas, I'm not sitting here and dishing out advice like I've never made this mistake before. When I was younger, when I was less experienced, when I didn't understand the stuff I know now, right? When I wasn't used to this stuff, right? As I started dating hotter and hotter women, right? I'd go on a date with like the most attractive guy I'd been on at that point, maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. And I remember sitting on some of these dates and just thinking like, how the fuck am I with her? Like, I was just mind blown at how she looked at her. I was just completely taken aback by everything. I just couldn't believe I was on a date with her, right? And what did that cause me to do? I couldn't take my fucking eyes off her. Just everything. I was just staring. I was just infatuated with her presence, just with her. And that communicates to her, oh, this guy isn't used to it. He's way too eager. He's way too keen. He's clearly not used to girls of my caliber. No thanks. Why is that such a huge turnoff? Because like I said, fellas, women only want to date men who have other options, right? More attractive than them. They only want to date men higher ranking than them. And by definition, higher status, higher value men, if you're higher value than her, you have options that are more attractive than her. But if you're staring at her and way too eager, way too needy, way too much attention, those two things don't correlate. You clearly don't have more attractive options than her because you wouldn't be completely infatuated with her presence. You wouldn't be. So they don't correlate, right? Again, this is another way where she tests the type of man you are. She tests your value. She tests how many options you have. This is what this is, fellas. And you can pass this test. You can show her, no, I'm high value by limiting the attention you give her because it's going to show her, I'm not blown away by your presence, my love. This is a random Tuesday for me. This is like Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Like, you're nothing special. And again, that's going to raise her interest.
Every drop in every state will be another dime for Uncle Jack.
Yep. He's a very powerful, very impressive man. I've only seen photographs when he was young, police mugshots.
You can see, fellas, Gina still hasn't taken her eyes off him. Fellas, as a general rule, if a girl can't take her eyes off you, if a girl is constantly staring at you, this is a very, very good sign that she has high interest, right? And fellas, this isn't, I can't emphasize this enough. Her staring at you, her looking at you after the initial interaction, right? After you've started speaking to her, has absolutely nothing to do with how you look. It has absolutely everything to do with how you behave, right? The type of man you are, right? How much value she perceives you to have. That's what this has to do with. Why? Human beings, fellas, we tend to pay more attention, right, with our eyes, with our body, where we point our bodies, to higher status individuals, right? We tend to pay more attention to members of the other sex we are attracted to. So again, this sounds so obvious, but if she's not giving you much attention, it's likely because she perceives you as a lower value man. If you're speaking at her and she's not looking at you, right, her eyes are in other places, she likely views you as a lower ranking man. And you can improve that. You can reverse. It's a good cue to have because then you know you need to improve, right? What do you do in this scenario? Well, you lean back. You give her less attention, right? You do some of the high status verbal communication that I prescribe. You do some of the high status body language I tell you to do. And slowly, you'll see her interest raise. And a very easy way to spot her interest is when you're speaking, how much eye contact does she give? When she's talking at you, how much eye contact does she give? Right?
And more recently in high society magazines. I think this represents progress.
Yeah. And before you tell me what you want me to tell him, I have a message from him to you. No deal.
And again, fellas, this is another shit test, right? Obviously, if you're in a business negotiation, this is a completely different story, but we're talking about just when it comes to relationships, dating, human mating, female to male attraction, male to female attraction. That's what we're talking about. Something like this is a classic test. She's testing your confidence, right? She's testing if you have emotional control, right? Why? She's just giving you a bad outcome. Oh, I want to break up with you. Oh, I think I don't like you anymore. Fellas, I hit like, let me give you another fucking fresh off the press example, right? I had some girl recently who was like, I just don't think I feel the same way about you. Like, da-da-da. Obviously she did. She's just testing me, right? She's testing me. And guess what I said? I said, oh dear. Right? Completely, just like Tommy is here. Completely unreactive, completely unreaction, boom. Oh dear. What do you want? Do you want to break up? Just like that. Right? But almost taking the piss out of her. And then guess what? 30 minutes later, fellas, she's engaging in adult activities with me. Actually, maybe less than 30 minutes. But you get the point, fellas. When you pass the test, the attraction raises. Like, I'll actually give you another fucking example. I was with this very attractive Instagram model, right? I am very attracted to her. Very attracted to her. And we were sitting on my bed, and she was like, "Oh, like if we were here, like, if it was a different circumstance, I would have broke up with you by now." I was like, "Okay, why don't you do it?" Right? Cool, completely calm, completely unreactive. I'm not like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do to make it up for you? Oh my God, I don't." No. Completely cool, completely calm, completely unreactive. Right? And guess what? After we had she was literally talking at me for 1.5 hours. Been like, "Oh, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you work all day. I don't like that you do this. If you did this, I would have broke up with you. Usually I would have broke up with you." All this bullshit. She talks to me for 1.5 hours. I get in the shower. She then also gets in the shower and adult activities engage. And after that, sky high interest. You get the point. It's just a fucking test. And if you pass the test, her attraction increases. Not A plus B. 1 + 1 = 2. That's what this is. You pass the test. This happens 100% of the time. Most men can't pass these tests, especially when it comes down to something like, "I think we need to break up. I think we need to take a break. I think we need space. I don't feel the same way about you that I did before. I think I'm going to break up with you. I think we should." All of this bullshit. It's just a fucking test. If you fail the test, well, yeah, she will fucking break up with you. But if you pass the test, give her some time, she'll come crawling fucking back. I promise you, fellas. I promise you. This works 100% of the fucking time. You pass the test, sometimes she'll instantly be like, "Oh, okay, But most of the time, she's gonna be like, she's probably gonna walk away. Maybe for 10. You honestly, fellas, usually it's like 5 minutes, like 15 minutes max, and then she's back all over you again. But sometimes it might be an hour. Sometimes it might be 3 hours. I literally had this the other day as well. I did something a girl didn't like, but I wasn't doing anything bad. I was fucking working, right? And she just disappeared for 3 hours or 3.5 hours. It's like, all right, go on then, bye. I didn't chase her. I didn't pursue. I didn't blow her phone up fucking 500 times. I was like, all right, come back when you want. And guess what? She came back. And you know what happened? Attraction raised. So I keep giving you the example, fellas, because like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but I know what I'm talking about. Like I know I've dated some very, very beautiful women, and I know what it takes to attract them, to raise their interest, to maintain their interest. I know the common pitfalls that guys have gone through, not because I'm some fucking god, but because I have made these mistakes and I've lost women I've been liked so much. Right, let's continue. That's enough rambling.
In England, when someone gets this close to Tommy Shelby, it's the heart.
And fellas, you can see Tommy's reaction. He just looks unbothered. He's just like, all right, love, I guess I'll do it my way then. It's like, that's how you have to be, fellas. Like, she's simply testing to see, are you unaffected by external circumstances? Are you unfazed? That's what she's looking for. A man who is unfazed, unreactive, unbothered, cool, calm, relaxed, collected. I think unbothered is the key word, right? Unfazed. Just like, all right, I guess I'll do it a different way then. You want to leave me? Okay. It was nice knowing you. Have a good life. Like, fellas, I'll give you another example. Like, some like, what you'll notice, fellas, is eventually, at some point in the relationship, a girl will call your bluff. And she will see, is this motherfucker really about that life? So she'll break up. She might break up with you. She might do it. And you know what you want? Fellas, I've dealt with this before. Like I said a second ago, I'm not. I'll tell you what I was going to say, and then I'll afterwards. But fellas, I'm not coming out at you like I'm like the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like I can walk on water and shit. I can't. What I'm saying is, fellas, I know this stuff because I've made these mistakes with girls that I really, really liked, and I lost them because of it. And when you do that enough times, you start to learn lessons, right? So I know what's coming because I've seen it before. I've made these mistakes. I'm not some fucking god, or I told you I'm not some fucking celestial being. No. I haven't got the infinity stones. No. I've made these mistakes. Women, and what you have to understand is, fellas, women operate in patterns. They are all so similar. Like when it comes to relationships, dating, mating, they're RDM. For those of you who know, you know. They're all the same. So let me get back to my example, right? At one point, fellas, she's going to test you. Is this motherfucker really about that life? Is he really on business? Is he really about that life? She'll threaten to leave you. And you know what you do? Or no, sorry. She'll be like, I'm breaking up with you. She'll actually mean it. You'll be like, all right, have a good life. And then how do you pass this test? Because she's walked away. You stay strong, you don't pursue her. Right? And guess what happens? 100% of the fucking time. She comes crawling back. Test passed. Test passed. It's all a test of your character as a man. That's what she's testing. Are you really about that life? Are you really some big, relentless competitor? Are you really on that? Or are you gonna come crying back to me? I want you back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change. No. Oh my God, this is gonna be a long fucking video. I hope you like these videos, by the way, fellas, because this is some in-depth shit. Like, we're not just analyzing the clip at this point. We're going in. We're talking about testing, about fucking the power to walk away, the ability to remain cool, calm, all of this shit. Anyway, what was I going to say? I had a good point. And fellas, you know what happens when you pass these tests? The attraction increases. It's just a constant game. This is how women are wired. They constantly are trying to sniff out weakness. Always. Constantly. It never stops. And again, fellas, I'm going to tell you a mistake that I made, which was very painful. Right? Men get comfortable. I am not immune to this. This is one of my fucking biggest mistakes, or my biggest struggles, was I got comfortable. I just stopped giving a fuck. And not in a good way. Right? I started getting soft. I started what's the terminology? Like supplicating to her, like changing myself for her. Like all of this stuff, like, oh, well, she doesn't like when I do it, so I guess I'll change. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I lie. It's not that bad. It's fine. I started being so fucking predictable, right? I stopped doing the things that I was doing before, right? I changed my life to spend more time with her, right? I got weak, I got needy, I got clingy. I always wanted to be around her, right? Whenever her phone buzzed, I want to look at that. Like, is another guy text? All of this insecure, weak shit, right? I stopped trying to do the things I was doing. Right? I stopped worrying about my body language. I stopped worrying about my eye contact. I wasn't thinking about my vocal tonality. I got lazy in the bedroom, right? All of this stuff, and guess what? Over time it goes, and then it gets to a point where she reaches a breaking point, and then she breaks up with you. And she fucking means it. Right? This isn't a test. She's fucking done with your loser fucking ass. And obviously, fellas, like, in that situation, when she breaks up with you, you still respond the same way by not contacting her and assuming you're done with her. And then depending on the circumstance of the breakup, there's a very, very high likelihood she comes crawling back. But you cannot go crawling back to her. Just give it time, right? I was in this situation not too long ago, right? A girl and I broke up, right? And I knew she was fucking going crazy. I'm actually gonna make a video on this. Give me a second, fellas. I'm just gonna make a note. Okay, fellas, let's move on.
Oh, the desire. To fall on your knees, open your mouth, and say, "Yes, sir. Please, sir."
Again, fellas, she's trying to get a reaction out of him. She's simply trying to move him off center. Right? She's trying to provoke him. But then if you look at how Tommy is, fellas, there's absolutely zero reaction. There's zero emotional leakage. Now, the reason why she can't take her eyes off him in this scenario is not because she's attracted to him or anything like that. She's simply trying to see if she can get an emotional reaction out of him. That's why she can't take her eyes off him. Obviously, this is a movie, right? I'm trying to make a point, and I'm trying to illustrate the fact that when you limit your eye contact, yes, she will give you more attention. This is exactly what you want to do, right? But in this specific scenario, it's because she wants to see if she can get an emotional reaction out of him. But the principle still applies, right? Fellas, limit your eye contact. What Tommy doing here is brilliant, right? That's what she's looking for. She's looking for an emotional reaction. She's looking for any leakage to see, can I move this man off center? Oh, I can move him off center? Yeah, goodbye. Clearly can't handle someone like me. That's when you hear a woman say, yeah, he couldn't handle me. It's because she tested him. He got emotional. He got reactive. He reacted, right? She was able to move him off center. She was able to disturb him. Yeah, he can't handle me.
So it's Uncle Jackie falling in your knees for, eh? Not Michael.
He says no deal, Mr. Shelby.
That was brilliant. Let me go back.
So
I just want you to notice again, fellas, the slow, smooth movement, and controlled. Slow, smooth, controlled movement, right? Because when you're being tested, fellas, like I said, she's looking for any form of emotional leakage, right? Any sign that she's able to move you off center, any sign that she's able to take you off that solid line, right? That solid masculine line where you're unreactive, right? Unable to be phased. That's what she's looking for. So this body language here, fellas, is critical, right? I'm going to get my red fucking pen out. It's critical because you can do this, but then if you have this rigid, quick, speedy body language and you're all over the place and you're fidgeting and you look nervous, she knows she's got in your head. But let's look at Tommy, then I'll tell you.
Please, sir.
So
And again, look how slow, smooth, controlled, relaxed that is. Unaffected. Smooth, calm. Nothing is facing this guy. Right? That's exactly how you want to respond.
Jackie falling in your knees for, eh? Not Michael.
He says no deal, Mr. Shelby.
You smell of jail, Gina. And you drink too much.
Right. What Tommy did here was what we call a state-breaking statement. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful. State-breaking statement. Basically, fellas, what this is you can either have a state-breaking statement or a state-breaking question. They both do the same thing. They change the topic of conversation. Again, fellas, this is a highly, highly dominant move. You're effectively saying to the other person, I don't care what you're talking about. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about. Very, very dominant. Again, testing, right? If she's testing you, this is another way you can respond. You can just say something completely different. You can make it just like Tommy is here. You smell of jail, Gina, and you drink like. Can just completely change the topic, right? And again, this is highly dominant. It's like I don't give a fuck about what you're. We're not playing your childish games, my love. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about because I'm the leader. I'm the highest status one. We talk about what I want to talk about. You submit to me, bitch. That's effectively what you're saying. Right.
Yes, but booze is legal. Your white powder's not. Jack has friends in the government now. Do you have any idea of how far he's risen? All the way to the fucking top.
And again, fellas, if you just notice, Tommy again, he's completely still. As a rule, fellas, you never want to fidget, right? Zero fidgeting. Why? Fidgeting. This is another really important thing, but women are programmed to hunt out nervousness, right? They're programmed for it. They're like bloodhounds. When they detect a hint of nervousness, of anxiety, of fear, see you later, mate. Attraction goes to zero. Well, not attraction goes to zero, but attraction decreases and you'll get more tests. Like I said earlier in the video, fellas, you get tested when you display weakness, right? So if you look nervous, fearful, right, anxious, right, indecisive, needy, clingy, right, insecure, jealous, right? She's going to start testing you. They're bloodhounds for this shit. And why, fellas? Well, let's look at it from an evolutionary perspective, because this is all in her brain, right? Let's look at this from an evolutionary perspective. Women are wired to seek the strongest mate. They're wired to seek the strongest male, right? The most quote-unquote fit male. When I say fit, fellas, I don't mean like biggest biceps or whatever. I mean most sort of desirable, the best option to reproduce with. That's when I say, that's what you mean when you say fit, right? Best adapted to the environment, right? Humans, to be best adapted to the environment, right, or males specifically, they can't ever display weakness. Because what if a fucking tiger jumps out? Oh, I'm having a bad day. Well, motherfucker, the tiger don't give a shit about that. Oh, the tribe has no food. Oh, I've got the flu. Or the kids aren't going to eat, right? That's why you can't display any form of weakness. And that's why women test for this shit. Okay? Going back to my point, that's why women have such strong, like, detectors. Like I told you, they're bloodhounds for weakness because they can't be with a weak man. They can't. Let's go further back, right? Let's go to my actual point. That's why whenever you do any sort of fidgeting, body language, or when you're pacing back and forth, or when you're moving a lot, or when you fidget, or when you rub your anything like that, right? It's nervousness, and they pick up on this, and they will test you, right? I had this recently, right? I told you I am human too. I make mistakes. I was under immense pressure, like, and I had a brain condition as well, which meant like my cognitive capacity was like 10% of what it usually was. So I physically couldn't make decisions, right? So I was being indecisive, right? And all my because my another symptom of the infection that was causing my brain capacity to be like 1% was what was it? I had no energy, right? I was very irritable, right? I couldn't make decisions. My brain wasn't functioning. Right? All of this stuff, I was extremely tired, right? And all of these, and I was with this girl, right? We were on vacation together, right? And I had massive decisions I needed to make with her. I had massive decisions I needed to make in my business. I had massive decisions I needed to make, not just in my business, but businesses. I had massive decisions I needed to make in my personal life. And I had this fucking viral infection, which was physically had destroyed my body, right? The doctors did fucking CT, fucking MRIs, blood tests. They said, yeah, force, your body's fucking destroyed. I don't know how the fuck you're functioning. And on top of that, I was on like 2 hours sleep for like the past 18 days or something. So my body was dying. I was fucking dying, right? All this bullshit. And that came out in my behavior, right? I was like stressed out, right? And she picked up on it. I was indecisive. And guess what happened? Her attraction decreased. Women, and she knew all of this. She came to the hospital with me. She heard the doctors. She was in the room when the fucking neurologist said, yeah, Force, you're fucked up. She was in the room when the internal medicine doctor who tests like your internal body for viruses, all that shit. She was in the room when she said, yeah, Force, you're fucked. I don't know how you're still alive. She was there. But she didn't give a fuck. And her attraction, she was still testing me like a motherfucker. She's like, oh, you don't make me feel the same way you do. Like when I used to be, before I was with you, like you used to make me feel so calm and relaxed, but now you're so stressed and that makes me feel stressed. I was like, bitch, like, come on. They don't give a fuck. They're wired to seek out the strongest male. So what I'm saying is, fellas, you can, no matter what, you can never display weakness. No matter, I told you what and it's not like she knew everything I was going through, right? The business, the health issues, the personal issues, right? The issues that I had to deal with her, like all of this, she knew, and she still her psychology didn't give a fuck. Her evolutionary wiring didn't give a fuck. You still got to seek out the strongest male. And if Force Ops isn't that, you know what she's going to do? Test. Attraction decreases. She's going to pull back a bit. Obviously, like I disciplined myself and I got on with it, and her attraction is now like 101 out of 100. I have this girl's soul. Even though this was only a few days, like a week ago or whatever, I have her soul. Right? You can rebound quickly, but you have to pass the tests. And again, fellas, that's why I love women's shit tests. That's why I love when they test me, because the way I see it is like, thank you. I've got an opportunity to increase your interest. Thank you for presenting me the opportunity. And fellas, that's why I've spent like an hour taking you through these tests. All I've talked about in this video is how to pass tests. Because if you know them, you can pass them. And if you pass them, you increase her attraction. That's what is so important. Hope you're finding this video valuable, fellas. If you want, I can't believe I'm about to fucking say this, but as of this video, you now have the opportunity to get one-to-one mentorship with me, meaning you're going to have my personal phone number. You're going to have the ability to ask me unlimited 24/7, 365 days of the year questions. Let's say you have an issue with a girl. You're going to send me like a fucking paragraph saying, Force, this is what happened yesterday. I sent her this message. Let me send you the messages. You can say, Force, what do I do? Then I'm going to come back at you with a step-by-step guide on this is exactly what you do in this situation to raise her attraction. This is exactly how you respond to this. So, fellas, if you want one-to-one mentorship with me where you can ask me any question, you can ask me to literally do anything you want, right, to help you with this shit, I will teach you anything you want, right? If you want that, I am only offering this to a few of you motherfuckers. The last time I offered this was over 3 years ago. I took on a few guys and the rest is history, right? I'm offering this now. First time in 3 years. If you want this, because I will close the fucking doors in a week, in a month, I don't know. Click the top link in the description. If this sounds interesting, apply. If it doesn't, please don't apply. It's a lot of work from me. So if you don't want to do it, you'd be doing me a favor. So please don't apply. But if you do, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to take you on. I love helping guys out. If you don't want to apply, please don't. But if you do, you've got nothing to lose. Apply, see what happens, whatever. Let's go on with the analysis.
Can't have white powder on his shiny black boots when he's on his way to meet the President of the United States, because, yeah, that's where he goes now. So he can't really be taking such a big risk on such a little deal.
Fellas, again, this is just OMG. So much testing. Let me tell you another story. I was at this party not too long ago. There was this Yeah, I mean, she was. Yeah. She was a 9. She was a 9.1 out of 10. So when I say 9.1 out of 10, fellas, I mean I'm not talking about some local girl. No. You've probably seen like, maybe like one girl that's a 9 this year. Maybe if you go out all the time, they're rare. They are. You do not see these motherfuckers every day. She was a 9.1 out of 10, and when we started, she was blonde. When we started speaking, she was testing like a motherfucker. Me, right? And I'm advanced at this shit, right? She was testing like a mother, just like this. She was like, oh, has anyone ever told you you're boring? I was like, yeah, all the time. But you love it. Like, constant testing. Like, constant, relentless, right? But guess what? I passed all the tests in doing the exact thing. I didn't bend, right? I didn't over pursue her. I didn't reveal my hand like she was trying to get me to. She was like, oh, do you even like me? You're not showing me any interest. Like, I'm not going to keep chasing you all night if you're not showing me any interest. I didn't change anything. Guess what? 15 minutes later, she's fucking coming up to me, rubbing my ass, all this bullshit. Introducing me to all her friends. Well, yeah, fuck off, mate. You get the point, right? Because I passed the test. The end of the night, she's blowing up my fucking phone. Oh, can I see you tomorrow, Force? Can we meet? Fuck off. Obviously, I didn't say that to her, but I was like, I know this school, right? Because I passed her tests, I raised her interest. Fellas, if you are getting... Another reason why I love getting tested is because, fellas, if she doesn't test you, if you get no tests at all, do you know what that means? It means she doesn't perceive you as a sexual option. It means she perceives you as a friend. Right? If you're not getting tested, fellas, when you first meet her, she doesn't perceive you as a sexual option. You're so low that you're so beneath her. Right? She perceives her as so much higher value than you. She doesn't even perceive you as a sexual option. That's why I love getting tested, because I know, bitch, I know you like me. You wouldn't be testing me if you didn't. So don't try and play hard to get. Just don't even bother. I know you like me. I know you do. So whenever a woman's testing me, I know I have 100% of the power. I know you want me, bitch. I know we're gonna do this little dog and pony trick where you test me. Oh, has anyone ever told you you're boring? Did you know you look like this guy off Love Island? And you know he's really boring. Yeah, I do. I know. I get told I'm boring all the time. All the time. But you girls love it. Right? Or another thing she said is like, yeah, I let my looks do all the talking. Right? Just those arrogant responses. I know you like me. We're going to go through this dog and pony bullshit. But you have, fellas, bottom line is you have to pass the test. And if you do, just know you have her. If you continue to pass her test throughout the relationship, you will get her fucking soul. Like getting a girl's soul is what you should aim to do. And I don't mean this in a negative scumbag way. I mean, when you have her soul, it basically means she's infatuated with you, right? She's obsessed with you, but in a good way. That's what you want. Like, I would not get into a relationship with a girl unless she was obsessed with me. Right? I just wouldn't do it. Like, I have too many options. No. I just wouldn't do it. Like, I feel like that's disrespectful for me to commit to a relationship with you and spend all this money with you, and you're not even obsessed. Nah. Not force ops now. No. No high value man would do that bullshit. Right? So that's why you have to behave in this way, because that's how you make a woman obsessed with you. And that's a requirement for me to get in a relationship with you and spend all this money on you and spoil you and take you all over the world and treat you and invite you into my life. You get to spend time with me. There's a high bar for that bullshit.
Go home, boy.
Oh dear.
Bye-bye, Mr. Shelby.
Yeah, you have another whiskey, Gina, another dime for Uncle Jack. You mind if I smoke?
If it's legal, it's okay.
Before I go, you should know.
And fellas, let me let Tommy finish.
That it was me who tipped off the border police.
I just want you to observe his behavior. But the vocal tonality specifically, then we'll get into this. But let me go back. Just pay attention to his demeanor.
Yeah, you have another whiskey, Gina, another dime for Uncle Jack. You mind if I smoke?
Just look how cool, calm, collected everything is. She's just blatantly disrespected him. She's called him a boy when she's like half his age. Right, blatant disrespect. Look how Tommy deals with
It's
it.
legal, it's okay.
Before I go, you should know.
Just unbothered, and then he's still got that confident, right, flat, monotone tonality, right? I'll actually give you this. Like this is what I call high status vocal tonality. I'll give you a few pointers, not all of them, just a few of them. But the reason I'm going to do that, fellas, is because the high status vocal tonality is the tonality you want to use, is how you want to speak when you're being tested, right? First things first, there's no change in his pitch. It's flat, it's monotone, it's not up and down like this, low then high, then all this bullshit, singing a song. No, but I only do that because it makes you motherfuckers, it makes the videos more interesting, right? I've been going on for a long time now, and I enjoy recording in this way. If I had to record in a fucking monitor, I just give up. I just quit. But no, can't do it, fellas. Sorry. I guess you're all fucked because no one else talks about this stuff. So sorry, boys. I'm joking. Obviously, I'd still do it, right? But you get the point, right? It's funner for me to record like this, and it's probably more entertaining for you when I'm a bit loosened up, right? Because I am not like this on dates. I'm how Tommy is here, right? Which is the first tip. Right? You want a flat oh, nearly there. You want a flat monotone tonality. Right? Monotone, flat. Why? Because fellas, when your vocal tonality is up and down, up and down, up and down, all this different. One time it's high, one time it's really low, then it's high, then it's low. It signals no emotional control, right? You're up, then you're down. You're up, then you're down. You're up, then you're down. No. That all that seems to her is, yeah, this guy is fucking emotional, right? He's fucked. But when you have a monotone tonality, fellas, flat tonality, it just makes you seem like you're completely cool, completely calm, completely relaxed. That's the first point, right? Monotone tonality. The second, fellas, is the pace of speech, right? Slow pace, right? When you speak really quickly, it makes you come across as nervous. Whereas Tommy, he speaks slowly, right? He's not rushing to get his words out. The next point, fellas, is pauses. And again, taking pauses when you speak is the opposite of nervousness. It's the ultimate trump. It just makes you seem so confident. You take pauses in between your sentence. This is, if you notice, this is how good politicians speak. Listen to any politician and you will hear how many pauses he takes in between when he's speaking. Right? Brilliant.
That it was me who tipped off the border police.
And again, just listen to the pauses. Now we're going to pay attention to his body language.
About the contents of Michael's suitcase.
And again, right, eye contact strong when he's speaking, then he slowly removes it. Right? Look at how he's sitting. He's making himself appear as large as possible, right? Legs splayed out, right? Again, exposing his genitals. That's a classic cue, right? That signals fearlessness. Look how large he's making himself appear, right? With this arm is cocked out, right? Again, taking up more space. High-ranking men tend to take up more space. Also, fellas, when you're, like I said earlier, about fucking 2 hours ago in this video, right? When you're nervous, when you're fearful, when you're low confidence, humans make themselves appear smaller. Why? They don't want to take up any space. They don't want to be noticed. This is the complete opposite of that. When you make yourself appear larger, fellas, right? It signals confidence. That's what it signals. Confidence. You're completely cool, completely calm, completely unreactive, right? Unbothered, unfazed. Whereas most men, when they're being tested by girls, they get really emotional. Oh, she doesn't even like me anymore. Why is she such a bitch? Oh, I think she lost interest. I think she doesn't like me anymore. So they're going to get really small. They're going to get really timid. They're going to get really bothered. Whereas Tommy looks unbothered, right? He's entered back into that sort of cocky frame, that arrogant frame, right? Brilliant.
I'm the reason he's in jail. I wanted to give your uncle a dilemma.
Again, this is just fucking brilliant. I don't know how many times. This is just fucking brilliant. Continue, fellas, because there's some good stuff coming up.
His favourite niece's husband banged up in Boston for smuggling opium. What does he do? If he intervenes and has him released...
Now, fellas, what I want you to pay attention to now is the difference in her behaviour. Again, I know she's a girl, and in dating and relationships and stuff, like, she can behave like this and it won't lower your attraction. But I want to demonstrate sort of the opposite of what Tommy is. And if you behave like this as a man, this will kill all attraction.
All that play in the Oval Office, if he does nothing, how does that play in South Boston?
Oh, fuck you.
And then again, look at this, right? You see a massive, massive change in behavior. Huge change in behavior, right? You can tell the tension in her face, right? Even the words she said, right? Look, now she's leaning forward. She's fully invested in the conversation. Fellas, the point is there's been a massive change in her behavior versus Tommy, on the other hand, zero change in behavior, which is exactly how you want to behave.
Fine. Stay here. Deal here, die here, for all I fucking care.
And you can tell she's fucking pissed off. Now, fellas, this is a mistake I used to make when I was less knowledgeable, right? Less advanced. I didn't know this stuff. Right? I didn't know how to do it right. I would think I took it too extreme. Like, I thought like I had to be really dominant, and I had to. I couldn't. I wore my heart on my sleeve, right? You could tell when I was annoyed. I thought it looked cool when I was like annoyed. I thought I was like, yeah, big dominant man. No. I thought it was good to lay down the law, like say, oh, I don't like when you do this. Oh, you're annoying me. Stop this. No. That's not how a man should behave. A man, like, you can tell how like, this is how I would be. Like, I'd be emotional. I'd change my behavior. I'd be moved off center. I'd be annoyed. I'd be upset. I'd be angry, right? I'd be short-tempered. I'd like raise my voice. All of this stuff. Not raise my voice, but I'd look annoyed. I'd look upset, right? Obviously, I'd never get physical, never lay hands, do any of that fucking bullshit. I'm just saying, I'd look upset. I'd look annoyed. I'd look like I'd been moved off center, just like she is.
Died whose hand, Gina? Hey? My message to your uncle is this. If he doesn't want to buy my opium, I will sell to the East Boston Jews.
And then, fellas, the important thing is, this is so critical. You must be willing to walk away. Right? Not necessarily in this strict sense, but you have to know when to leave, because this is a very, very high level principle from something I talk about in advanced seduction, which I've got a program coming out on this, which you can, by the way, you can get this program for free if you join my one-to-one mentorship. Yep, you get the program for free if you join my one-to-one mentorship. Top link in the description, you motherfuckers know that anyway. But if you don't want to join, don't fucking join. Just saying. Too much of even a good thing, too much of even a great thing is still too much, right? You want to limit your presence. You want to limit how much you give, right? because too much of a good thing is how you get bored of it. It's how you get used to it. So the lesson is here, fellas, you have to know when to leave. Now, most men can't do this. They can't leave. They physically can't. She always ends the interaction. She's always the one to want to get off the phone. She's always the one who wants to end the date. She's always the one that wants to like sort of take a bit of space. You have to be the one. You always should be the one to end the interaction. Always. That is how you keep her craving you. That is how you keep you... That's how you enjoy your time together. Because if she had it her way, she'd spend 24/7, 365 days with you, and she'd keep doing that until she got bored of you. Then she'd just fucking leave. But what you want to do is, fellas, you want to provide a great experience and then leave when you're up here. But what most guys do is they stay until you get to the point where she no longer wants to be with you, and then she leaves. But you want to leave here. You want to leave on a peak. And then guess what? Next time you come, right? Same as before. You leave here, right? Again, what do most guys do? They leave down here. Right? Or sorry, she leaves here. They leave it too late. They never know when to leave. You always want to leave on a high emotional peak. Therefore, she always craves your presence. Whereas fellas, like I said, too much of even a good thing is too much. You get bored of it. You get sick and tired of it. You want space. That's why you should always limit your presence. This is an advanced seduction tip. I've got, fellas, that's just a very, very basic one. But if you want more advanced seduction, you know where to go. Who else is talking about this shit? No one.
Do you want to start a fucking war?
And again, fellas, if you notice her behavior, she's completely off center. She's completely emotional. She's everything, right? Whereas Tommy, she said far worse things to him in this, but Tommy was flat. He was unchanging. And that's what women are testing for, right? Unchanging. Right? Unaffected, unreactive, unbothered, unable to move him off center.
With that amount of opium, the balance of power between the Irish, the Jewish, and the Italians.
No, we don't do witches.
Then I think our families will work together very well. Have a good day, Gina.
And again, he has the ability to leave. Again, you fellas, you can see all the emotional leakage here versus Tommy, again, for the 100th time in this video, no emotional leakage. Fellas, if you enjoyed, I mean, this was a fucking deep dive. If you enjoyed this, fellas, give me feedback on the videos. I read all of the, I really don't have a lot of time, but I read most of the, in fact, I read all of the comments eventually, right? It just takes me a bit of time. But I love when you guys give me feedback. Like, let me know what you like and I will make more. Remember, fellas, I am here to help you. I just want you to be successful. Give me feedback on the videos. Tell me how I can make them better. Give me suggestions and I will make the video you want me to do. I'll make the changes I want you to make because I am here for your benefit. Right? I am here to help you succeed. So tell me how I can do that better. Because fellas, like, I know how painful this is. Like, I know it. I know there's no good advice on the internet. I've looked. There's nothing. All of it is bullshit. I want to change that. I want to give you stuff that actually works. So tell me how I can make these videos better for you. Tell me how I can give you my knowledge, and I will continue to do this. Fellas, I will see you in the next video.